Hey guys, this is yet another short tutorial about Kali Linux, and this is for my uh, educational blog. And recently I posted something about Nmon. Nmon, the a network monitor, or to be very precise, the name is Negi's performance monitor for Linux. And this tool Nmon basically works on all flavors of Unix and Linux, and this was developed by IBM, but then in the later stage was published as an open source tool. So what is Nmon? Nmon is an a monitoring tool which monitors network performance, which monitors CPU performance, which monitors disk performance, which monitors kernel performance, and you can just keep talking more like file systems, processors, resources, and graphic numberings and so on. So this is actually a tool which is bind with a lot of features which will come very handy for network system DB and administrators who really monitor the system, or who's very keen in monitoring the kernel processors, what is running behind my system when I'm just working, and what is it getting connected to, what kind of processes are running, is it wanted, it's required, it's not required. So that is exactly what we use Nmon for. So Nmon is pretty much kind of a graphical user interface tool, just not like a typical Unix based tool which just runs on the terminal. There is yet another tool which is not pretty much graphical, which is command line based tool, and it works as same as Nmon, that is htop. So htop will soon or later come across this, and we will learn about this in next tutorial or in future coming tutorials. So now all I have to focus about is Nmon. So in every tutorial we start ourselves with something very much basic, is to check do we have a stable internet connectivity, right? That is the first ever task we do when we start our tutorial, and I hope you guys agree to it also. So now that I'm into a terminal, now I'm going to check whether I have a stable internet connectivity on this machine which I'm running on a VM, right? To check that, first of all, is to check whether my Ethernet adapter has a valid IP address. So how do I access my Ethernet adapter? Is to type ifconfig, alright, and now what? So when I type ifconfig, if I know the precise Ethernet adapter on which I'm working on, I can just type the Ethernet adapter name, or if I don't know, I just let loose and I just type ifconfig and hit enter, right? So when I do that, I get the Ethernet adapters. You can see on the screen there are two Ethernet adapters. One is, as you can see, is a loopback, and second is my actual Ethernet adapter, that is ETH0, and this has a valid IP address which is 192.168.0.109, a private IP with a mask appropriate to it, right? So I find that my Ethernet adapter is very much okay and has an IP address, but then is it able to connect to internet? That is something which I'm going to check now, right? I'm going to clear the screen. So to check that, as you guys know, we in Windows what we use is ping command, and any web portal on the internet space, right? So I just type ping, and I will try to ping google.com, right? So when I ping, there it is, the public IP, so-called public IP of the Google. We're not sure whether it's an actual or just spoofed one. So I'm getting replies to this ping request, so it means I'm able to connect to the internet space, right? So I just cancel this pinging by hitting control C. Now the pinging is cancelled. I'm going to clear the screen, right? So as I know that yes, I'm able to connect to the internet space. Now it's time to install the Nmon, right? To install Nmon, you know, it's a generic command for installing anything on Linux. We use apt tag get install and the package name. So here the package is Nmon. So before I execute this command, I just want to tell you guys that Nmon is a default tool in Kali Linux, which comes preloaded with the Kali distribution, and it's just built in on the repository. You just need to grab it and pull it out and start using it. But then if you are just typing Nmon without this command on the screen, so to explain you what I do is I open another command, right? To access Nmon generically, because it is already installed, you just need to type Nmon on the tutorial screen, the screen, right? So if I type and hit enter, I should get Nmon because it's already built in. But then what I'm going to do is, if this is not working, then I have to manually install this Nmon package. So this is a installation command for the installation of Nmon package. Apt tag get space install space Nmon, hit enter, right? So you got this Nmon installed, right? And once installed, I can just go ahead and execute this package and check by typing this command on the screen, as you see, Nmon, and hit enter. Oh yeah, so I have this Nmon ready for use. So now what? As I've installed Nmon and it's on the screen, I have I want you guys to check on few options here, right? These are the options which I'm highlighting on this terminal, right? If you want to check the CPU, the memory, the disk, the resource, the kernel, and file system, network, all right, the processor, top processors, you can do it all by typing these characters like capital N, small j, small r, small d. So you can use these to tag along all this monitor one by one. So I'll start with CPU first. I hit C and I get the CPU interface, right? So I can see the CPU performance. It's not that big on the performance now, as I'm not running anything other than this tutorial terminal. So next I would move on to memory. There you go, right? So I've allocated 480.8 megabit. So you can see like 480.8, but almost it's like 500 megabit I've allocated for this, because Kali doesn't needs 1 gigabit of RAM and 1 gig RAM or a huge processor computing power and all. It's very simple, and it's very crisp operating system which can run even on 500 megabit RAM, right? So I can see the memory status here, and then if I want to see the disk status, I press D, so I can see the disk status here, right? STA1, STA2, STA5, right? So the same way, if I want to check the resources, I can type R, and you can see here Linux and processor details, right? So you can see the Linux version, the Kali AMD architecture operating system which I'm using, and my machine is x86 64-bit. The node name, the host name is ground 0, and you get pretty much of information to extract from the screen, right? So that's about resources. And if you see K, if you hit K, then I can also get the kernel status. Okay, the queue on the kernel, the average load on the kernel. Yep. And also there are a few more options which might interest you, is N for network, right? So I need to hit N for checking on the network. So I've hit that, and you can see here received and transmitted, packing, pack out, right? So on the transit, okay, I'm not doing much on internet space now, so I probably have nothing over here to show you guys. But if you have a huge download, if you have a torrent running on the Kali Linux and it's downloading huge chunk of data, then you might find these stats going up and down, and also the transit mode, how much packets coming in, how much packets moving out, and all this stuff, right? So that's something I just want you guys to have a look in. So now how to install the Nmon from the repository, from the Kali and central repository, and if it's already available on your Kali, and as usual you just can assume that Kali comes with complete package if you have followed me on my tutorial on how to upgrade Kali distribution, right? You'll have everything prepped and ready. You just need to type the command of the package and you just execute the command, right? And so that's about Nmon, the Nmon tool. And I just want you guys to go through my tutorials, the tutorial which I have, the article which I've posted on my website. You can just go through for more information on this, and just map this video tutorial with that the article. So that's all about Nmon tool. So as I have told you guys before starting this video about something called a replacement of Nmon, that is the htop, right? htop, right? So how does htop look like? So I'm just gonna pick you guys to htop now. What I'll do is I'll quit this screen, I'll clear the screen, and now let's htop is already installed and it comes default, so you don't have to install htop on this tutorial. So I'm just executing this command htop, and I hit enter, and there you can see on the screen the htop CPU, memory, swap utilization, and you can see the root and the root and its access. And you have few options down there, like searching. If you type if you hit F3, you can have a search for a process or a VIRT IDs. Like I'll search for 2247 to something like this, right? So you can search for your required IDs, right? And you can check on. But as I already told you, this is a command based tool. It doesn't gives you that good highlights of what Nmon gives you as a graphical user interface, and it's pretty much chunky enough if you see on the screen. So that's something about htop. So sooner or later we'll also go through htop and how it functions. So for now, this is all, and please subscribe and like and share this tutorials with your friends. I'll catch you up on the next video, and thanks for watching.